Hey YouTube, it is I, Zachmander, your coach of the Canadian Sarah Ledges, and welcome to my ICP draft analysis. Before we get into it, I need to give thank yous to the Pokey Professor for inviting me to this league, and number 2, thanks to I'm Destroyer for making the slide template for me, because I am very not talented at that, so thanks to him for doing that. That's my go right there. So yeah, this is a standard draft like every other draft, but the Tera and the power level is a little bit different. No, the power level is the same. But the Tera level is a lot lower tier than usual. But there was one particular Tera captain that stood out. Honestly, there were 3 that I was looking at round 1. The Pokemon right here, Sarah Ledge, Gliscor, and my actual first round pick, Hydrapple Tera. Now, Hydrapple Tera is a nasty mon. Recently, I won a low tier league with a regular Hydrapple, and I really learned how much that mon can just eat even with its crappy typing. So with Tera, this mon is elevated so much. I've used this mon, not in a regular league, but a long time ago. I did mocks with a friend when I actually used to do those. And I smoked with an Apple Gloking core, so that shit went crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Hydrapple, bro. This mon's gonna smoke. So that was my first pick. Now, I was definitely considering getting Gloking next, but instead I wanted to prioritize speed. Because in the last draft I was in, oh my goodness, the speed went flying. So, and a lot of speed threats weren't banned, but picked really early, a few of them at least. So I decided to get Cinderace. Brandon P's on this league, so I can actually grab Cinderace for once, so we gotta try him out again. Last time I drafted Cinderace, I had a really good season, and I really love using this one. One of my favorites. Also gives me some hazard control with port change, and gives me an amazing pivot, and really strong fire type, which is pretty not rare, but it's Pyro Ball is just so strong, and no recoil. It's just so strong, dude. And I feel like it really pairs well with Hydrapple. It gives me a really good check to ice types. So that's where I kind of focus, is checking those ice types that Hydrapple Free Tera struggles with. So, speaking of ice type checks, I wanted to get my steel type early. Because the last draft I was in, I drafted fucking Fortress. And I love Fortress, but like, I want Jirachi, bro. So we got Jirachi next. And Jirachi gives me a 100 speed tier, gives me some wish support for my Apple, and of course Cinderace too. Gives me an amazing rocker and pivot, and also gives me Thunder Wave support as my team. Hydrapple's slow as fuck, so having some speed control is going to be super awesome. And that's what I kind of went for, was a really bulky approach on this team. I think Jirachi plus Hydrapple is an amazing core, and Cinderace is that speedy breaker that this team needs. So that's kind of what I went for here. And for the next pick, I really wanted to get Gliscor. Unfortunately, Gliscor got taken. Now, maybe I could have waited, as I was pretty close to the wheel. And I think only one other person had a steel type. 1 or 2. Yeah, what's it called? Literally one person had a steel type, but I couldn't risk Jirachi because I wanted to use it so bad. So instead, I planned a Hysterian. Ooh, hey, we'll take those. We got a lot of Stealth Rock users on our team. I wanted to get a little bit more of a hazard stack route with Gliscor, but instead I went with Landorus here, so I got a really strong base attacker here. And of course, an amazing Stealth Rocker, Intimidate support, more pivoting. As you can see, I am going for quite a pivot team here, as Hydrapple can't pivot, so I want to get that guy in as many times as I can and feel comfortable with it. So I wanted to get a lot of pivots around it. That's what I felt like helped my last Hydrapple team succeed, was having a lot of pivots, even if they were a little lower tier pivots like Mesprit and regular Rotom. Obviously, this is a lot higher power level, so I got a lot more higher level pivots. So next here, I was originally going to pick Quackable, but I instead went with a little bit of a different option. As good as Quackable sounded, I talked to my friend Godbear, and I let him pick a couple of these mons. So I let him pick the next mon, and he really wanted me to get Iron Hands. So I got Iron Hands. Iron Hands is fat. The fact they made it this far is insane. This Pokemon basically can 1v1 anything in the game. And I currently have this in NBBL, and I love Iron Hands. This is one of my favorite bulky mons. And of course with Jirachi's wish support, it's gonna dominate. It's gonna dominate, okay? I love Iron Hands, okay? This one is so tanky. It can just murder things. After an SC, it goes crazy. AB checks any special attacker. This one is just incredible to have on any draft, and especially with this wish support I have, and the amount of pivots I have to get Iron Hands in, I think Iron Hands fits really, really well here. Iron Hands can also get Volt Switch, so I can also use this as another pivot if I want, but more than likely I probably won't be. So, I need a Fairy type, and honestly, I really like the idea of a Trick Room mode on this team, as I know at Calyrex Ison didn't use Trick Room, but I actually have used the strategy with only one other Pokemon, and that's Hatterene. This is one of the few Pokemon I actually run this move on, because Hatterene is just so strong under the Trick Room, with the Calm Mind setup and Training Kiss. This mod just doesn't die. And also gives me Healing Wish, which can revive my Iron Hands, or revive my Hydrapple, or my Landorus. So, yeah, Hatterene felt like a perfect fit. And as not of the fan I am of Double Psychic, I don't think it's great. I think it's fine, especially since Jirachi and Hatterene are so different in terms of their roles, and I really like the idea of Hat on this team, so we went with it. Now, next, I wanted another bulky pivot. As you can see, there's a pattern. We got Mandibuzz. I really needed a Ghost Resist, so Mandibuzz felt like the perfect fit here. And also just need more removal with Defog. As you can see, I only have Stealth Rocks as my hazard option. So I really don't mind getting rid of my old rocks, because I can probably get them up with my two very reliable Stealth Rock setters. I also have a lot of hazard denial, so it's more of me just not letting hazards up on my side. If it means Cinderace doesn't need to run Boots, that's great for me. So I have a lot of ways to deny hazards on this team with Port Change, Magic Bounce, and Defog, so that's going to be really amazing. Mandibuzz also gives me a Toxic user, which can allow me to play the slow game a lot easier. So yeah, that's kind of why I went with this one. Now, I needed a bulky Water type, and I almost went with Clawitzer as I wanted another Trick Room abuser, but I'm Destroyer convinced me otherwise, said I'm a dummy dumb wanting Clawitzer, so we went with the boring Vaporeon. I do love using this mod, but this is a bit of a more boring pick here. We get more Wish support, more Yawn, Flip Turn, Baton Pass, Water Absorb. Fuck you, Alola Mola, you ain't flip turning on my bitch ass! Yeah, we got Vaporeon here, a really reliable Water, but I still really want Clawitzer, I'll be honest. So, if you see me pick up Clawitzer later in the season, the demon's got to me, okay? So yeah, we got a really amazing bulky pivot core, and now we only have 5 points left for our last two Pokemon. We could have gotten one, but I saw Tera Captain. I would have never picked this up normally, but it was only 2 points. And that's Tera for Rigarath. So again, it gives me a third Psychic type, but I mainly like it for its normal typing, as it gives me another way to counter Ghost types. Also, this Pokemon gives me a really fun Trick Room abuser, and also just a really fun setup play. Rigarath doesn't need Tera to thrive, and for only 2 points, I can't really go any better than this. And for the last Pokemon we got Arbok. Arbok is back. If you watched my last draft analysis video I posted in MTL, I also drafted Arbok. See, here it was more willingly and more by choice, and MTL it was more of it's the only grounded voice. So hey, we got Arbok by will this time. Arbok is a really solid option with Intimidate, and I really wanted this because I would like the double Intimidate core, and I also felt like Arbok was a really fun option, and at the time of drafting this one, this draft was moving a lot faster than my other draft. So while I was like midway through the other draft I was doing, this draft was already done. So I was like, oh man, I really want to try Arbok. Arbok seems so much fun. I played in, I'm in this other league, I play non-upload, in LGA, and I was gonna upload my games for that, but then all these upload things are coming up, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna focus on that. So, I actually faced an Arbok, and it completely fucked up my game plan. I'm like, what the fuck? This Pokemon is crazy. So, I wanted to try for myself, because I got smoked by this guy, so I want to fucking try Arbok. So yeah, that's my ICP draft analysis. I think it's the, I have no idea what the fuck this stands for. International Clown Party. There's a Mr. Mime. You see behind Arbok, there's a Mr. Mime. Maybe it's a clown party. Maybe it's competitive. I don't even know what the P would stand for there. You know what? We're not gonna get into the specifics, but I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you to the Professor. I'm gonna but thank you so much for inviting me to the Poke Professor, and thanks to I'm Destroyer for making the slide template for me. Really much appreciated. And with that out of the way, I'll see you all for week 1, where we are playing another Canadian who actually drafted Iron Bundle this time, Mr. TJP. So, with that out the way, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!